Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the IS Companion. Today, we will delve into some of the fundamental debates that have shaped the field of psychology. These debates touch on the core of what it means to be human, exploring the intricate dynamics between internal and external forces, individuality versus generalization, and the roles of nature and nurture in shaping behavior. Understanding these debates is crucial for grasping the diverse perspectives and methodologies within psychology. 1. Determinism versus free will. One of the most enduring debates in psychology is the tension between determinism and free will. Determinism posits that free will is an illusion and that our behavior is governed by internal or external forces beyond our control. This perspective can be traced back to philosophers like John Locke and David Hume, who argued that human behavior results from these uncontrollable forces. Behaviorism is a school of thought closely associated with environmental determinism. Pioneered by John B. Watson and later expanded by B. F. Skinner, behaviorism emphasizes that behavior is shaped predominantly by environmental factors. They argue that by manipulating environmental conditions, one can condition individuals to learn, unlearn, and relearn behaviors. Skinner's work with operant conditioning demonstrated how reinforcements and punishments could shape behavior, suggesting that free will might be limited to choices within the constraints set by the environment. On the other hand, biological determinism suggests that behavior is primarily influenced by biological factors. Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory embodies this perspective, emphasizing psychic determinism, where behavior is driven by instinctual energy and unconscious desires. Freud proposed that much of our behavior is motivated by unconscious drives and childhood experiences, which are difficult to control consciously. Contrastingly, the concept of free will suggests that individuals have the capacity to make choices and control their destinies. Humanistic psychologists like Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow emphasize this perspective. Rogers' client centered therapy focuses on the individual's ability to self actualize and make free choices that lead to personal growth. Maslow's hierarchy of needs also underscores the potential for self directed growth once basic needs are met. The debate between these two perspectives is nuanced by the idea of soft determinism, which acknowledges that while behavior may be influenced by external or internal factors, individuals still have the capacity to choose from multiple courses of action. This perspective is often associated with cognitive psychologists like Albert Bandura, who introduced the concept of reciprocal determinism. Bandura's social learning theory suggests that while the environment influences behavior, individuals also have the power to influence their environment, creating a dynamic interplay between the two. 2. Molecular versus molar approach. The molecular versus molar debate addresses how we should study behavior. The molar approach advocates examining behavior holistically, emphasizing that behavior should be studied as an entire unit because breaking it down into components can strip it of its intrinsic nature. This holistic perspective aligns with Gestalt psychology, founded by Max Wertheimer, Kurt Kofka, and Wolfgang Kohler, which emphasizes that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. In contrast, the molecular approach supports breaking down behavior into smaller, more manageable units for objective analysis. This reductionist perspective suggests that understanding the fundamental elements can provide deeper insights into complex phenomena. Early structuralists, like Wilhelm Wundt and Edward Titchener, aim to reduce perception into elementary sensations, much like how chemistry reduces water into hydrogen and oxygen to understand its properties. Both approaches have their merits and drawbacks. The molar approach provides a comprehensive view of behavior but can overlook the importance of fundamental elements. The molecular approach allows for detailed analysis and scientific rigor but may miss the broader context and significance of behaviors. Cognitive psychologists like Jean Piaget have adopted a molar approach in understanding cognitive development, emphasizing stages of development as holistic processes. Meanwhile, behaviorists like Skinner have utilized a molecular approach to analyze behavior in terms of stimuli and responses. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to our continued exploration of these fascinating debates in psychology. Follow us on YouTube, www.youtube.com/@iscompanion.